Okay, so now we have the last talk of this session. And I am very happy to present my colleague, Danielle, who will be giving you the last presentation. We are done with vulnerabilities, with analysis. So now we are moving to the solutions and the actual protection. So Danielle is an engineer specialized in telecommunication and embedded systems. He's a seasoned entrepreneur who founded Energy Square in 2015, a company who built a wireless charging technology sold to Lenovo. He's now serving as VP Product Satcom at CYSEC, and he will be presenting you today how his team has worked on the security of the optimization of satellite communication links. So, Danielle, floor for you.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm very happy to present you what we found when we developed this new product that we are launching, which is a VPN for satellite communication links. And I would like to start today with an analogy. So I don't know how, yeah, I think it's here. Is it working? Just to switch. Okay, there's another buttons maybe. Okay, there are 2 pointers. So I'm an engineer, I should be working. I should find, don't worry. Okay. So it's an old tech switch, but it's working. Perfect. So I would like to start with a quotation from a famous philosopher, Thales, who said that all things are resolved into water. I like this quotation because as an engineer, I think it's a nice analogy, and I would like to use it today for the Satcom links. For me, a Satcom link is like water, a bucket full of water that you use to fill a tube, a transparent tube, because we are doing wireless stuff here. So it's a transparent tube, and the section of the tube will tell you how much water you will get at the output of the tube in a second bucket, and this is the receiver. So it's a simple analogy, but you start understanding quite easily how susceptible the transparent tube can be to man in the middle, eavesdropping, data integrity attacks. I think all the morning was related to many different types of vulnerabilities, and of course Satcom are not exempted. We have seen also terminal and satellites hack that occurs in the recent years. So it's definitely something that anyone who design and work with Satcom needs to consider at the very beginning of the projects. And this is why, for example, the National Security Agency, they requested in a previous note that went out a year ago to encrypt network before the VSAT links. So end-to-end encryption is actually a recommendation. And I'm not going back to all the different attacks that has been shown on this type of links. You may be more familiar with this one. I think it's important also to understand that security is something, but Satcom links are definitely not standard links. And the tube is not really stable, I would say. It is a tube that has a lot of packet losses. We can see it has leakage, water leakage. It is a tube that is changing constantly its section size, its length size also. The section size will be the rate burst, the amount of rate that you get that can change very dramatically, especially if you have satellite handover, but not only for this reason, you can also have very sharp changes just because of the physics behind the link. And the length change is the jitter you can expect from your RTT, from your time. So if the tube is longer, water will take more time to spread from the input to the output. If the section increase, you're going to receive a huge amount of water and then nothing if it decrease. So you need to take all this information into account when you want to use dedicated algorithm. And I think one interesting thing is that all the algorithms that we're using right now on the internet, they are not designed for this type of link. They are designed for this type of links. These are fiber link. It's an example of a fiber link. We set it up between Switzerland and Qatar. And as you can see, we have in green here, the amount of water that we are spilling, that we are placing into the tube. And in red, it's the amount of water that we retrieve at the bottom of the tube. And you can see that the two are completely correlated. They follow each other. The variance is not that big on the red line. The yellow is the amount of water that is leaking from the tube, and it's still very low. And you can expect from 0.1, it's already high, 0.1, 0.2% of packet losses. And this is what the algorithm I use to work with. The most important also is the blue line, the RTT. It's the time for the water to go from the input to the output. And this time is almost completely constant every time. So when you design an algorithm and you don't take into account the RTT variance, which is the jitter, it can break everything when you go to a Satcom link. Why? Because Satcom link looks more like that. So this is what we get every day when we work with our VPN. We are working with this type of data. This is an analysis of a Starlink link from Lausanne to Zurich. And as you can see, we still pilot the same way. So the filling bucket is still used in the same way than in the previous slide. But in this case, we have a sharp variance, a huge variance, I would say, in the amount of water that you will receive from the bottom of the tube. And it's not the only issue. So here the red line shows the section, I would say, of the tube who is sharply increasing and decreasing. We also have the same thing with the length of the tube who is sharply increasing and decreasing, and this is the blue line. And quite an interesting thing here, we can see every 15 seconds, we can see actual satellite handover. So every 15 seconds we have some really sharp modifications of the time and of the throughput that you get. But it's not the only issue, I would say. By nature, because of the physics of the link, you have a lot of noise. And finally, of course, the amount of packet losses in yellow. Of course, here maybe the scale is not perfect, but it's still a very important amount of packet losses that especially occurs at every 15 seconds here, but not only because of satellite handover. So when you see this graph, you understand that you need to maybe use dedicated algorithm to work and to optimize this type of links. And it's not just related to LEO links like Starlink, it's also related to geostationary links. This is an analysis of a 2 megabits per second links. And as you can see, there's no satellite handover. You don't have the repetition every 15 seconds of a discontinuity, but you still have some a lot of noise that you need to filter. And if you don't, all your algorithm will use it as if it were a normal link, and it will not be optimized at all. Some satellites, especially mature technologies on the geo spectrum, like Thuraya IP+, they are already using performance enhancement proxies. So it's solutions that will smooth this variance, this noise, and that will make the curve look more like that. So we still have something that will not look like a copper or a fiber link, but it is still smooth enough, I would say, to have a proper use of the link. But all this optimization now, I'm going back to the security issue. If you activate the security, you're going to hide everything you sent for a potential man in the middle, but also for the Thuraya equipment. And this is why when you activate, for example, WireGuard with Thuraya equipment, you're just going to have 1 kilobits per second for a 400 kilobits per second link. So this is actually what our clients get and why they come to us, and why some of them are even removing security from their solution. So it's an issue for the end client. It's an issue also for the service provider who see the quality of the link decline sharply after it activates a VPN solution. And this is also the case for a Starlink link. We made this test with the main 3 open source VPN that maybe most of you are using. And as you can see, the effect is a little bit different because you have a higher bandwidth, of course, but you still see a decrease in efficiency in share of the maximum throughput that you paid for as soon as you activate one of these VPN. And the reason is because these protocols are not changing the nature of what you're looking for on the internet or on your private server, and they are not made to be reliable to packet losses, to jitter, to rate burst. And this is just a basic simulation that shows you that when you're using on a fiber link WireGuard, you never see it because it's always 95, 96% of efficiency. But as soon as you see an increase in terms of packet losses, you see this type of line, which is making the solution inefficient completely at the lower edge. So, for example, with a Thuraya solution. So what we proposed, and this is the key principle of this new product that came out. It's a solution that both maximize your throughput, so maximize what you paid for, and still shield the connection with state-of-the-art encryption methods. So basically, what we do is 2 things. The first one is that we replace the transparent tube with a strong stainless steel tube that no one can see. We use TLS 1.3 for that. And then we add a bucket at the entrance and a bucket at the output. And these buckets are completely piloted by our own algorithms that will be completely adapted to your type of link to fill the tube, but that will also modify the protocol here to reduce the requirements for acknowledges, etc., of what you're looking for. At the end, you still have blue water, you have the same data that you've been searching for, but it passed through these 2 buckets to ensure that you don't suffer unreliabilities related to the link. Just to show what it means, it means that with a standard 0.5 packet loss link, when you're using WireGuard, you're accessing internet, which is composed of 61% of TCP, 32% of QUIC, and then this data goes also to a congestion control algorithm, which is roughly at 40%. There is a 40% of percentage that that the server you're accessing is using cubic, and a 35% that it is using BBR. So this is what you get at I will say, when you're browsing with a Satcom link, and what you're expecting to have also is 45% roughly of efficiency. When you use Arca Satcom on top, so the extra bucket, you still access the same servers, but then we're gonna pass everything through QUIC to reduce the requirement of acknowledges. And then we're gonna use a custom congestion control algorithm who will scan your link and understand precisely what is the correct behavior here at the output of the second bucket, depending on the specificity of your link. Of course, a LEO and a GEO has specificities, throughputs, jitters, etc., that vary a lot. And this is what we get. So we are completely, I would say, almost agnostic to the packet losses. Of course, the RTT increase on the right, but you are not going to suffer instabilities when you activate this solution on top of the security. And for the end user, what it means that you can download gigabits files from a Starlink link within a few minutes. And this is not possible. If you buy a Starlink Leo link, a standard one, for example, the download of a gigabit file will fail because it will take too long. The protocol will lose it, and it will not be working. So this is actual results for the end users. And it's also the same on GeoLinks, where you can download instead of hours. Daily usage will take only a few minutes. For the service providers, it's also an increase in efficiency, which means that you're going to get for what you pay for, I would say. And it's also another approach to the issue. It's not just the end user who wants a better usage, a more stable experience. It's also the service provider who wants a better efficiency in the price per bandwidth that he sells. So it's a solution that started from an open source project, and it was. I think we have one of the founder of this open source project in the room, and then it was launched with an ESA partnership. It was a call from ESA that had bring this project to an industrial phase, I would say, with CYSEC. And then when the initial product came out, we passed a specific number of certifications and classification from with the CNES lab in Toulouse, and we get the label from them. So this is a little bit the story, and now we are selling it already. It's a product that is already deployed in several industries. We have oil and gas, we have maritime, and we are looking for a lot of growth, I would say, in the coming months. If you want to test it, because the graphs are good, but testing is better, we have a ready plug-and-play solution. It's a router. We call it demo kit. So you can have one and just test it, and it will be automatically connected. So the router will be the client, and the server will be deployed as close as possible to your premises. So you can do real, actual testing, integrate physically with a router into your infrastructure, so the solution can work with multi-hop architecture. The solution is also symmetrical for the configuration, so you can really test it very easily this way. This is the topology. Basically, we place our router behind the Starlink or the satellite communication link, and then on the output, you have your own infrastructure that can be adapted to. And then from there, either you keep the hardware to go to production. So this is why we had a lot of deployment that went very quickly also, because from the demo kit you can go to production very easily as the device is certified. Or you can go on-prem, of course, with Linux packages a little bit. Basically, you can see it as an alternate option to your WireGuard or IPsec deployment. It could be just an option in your infrastructure. The structure, the package will be the same type. And that's it for my presentation. Thank you very much. If you have any question, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Danielle. Okay, we start with the questions.
You said the product is based on an open source project, right? What open source project is that? What's it called?
Yes, it's an open source project from one person here. It was developed as a graduate project. Yeah, if maybe you can answer.
Yeah, so the open source project is called QPEP, and actually we have James Pavou there.
Yeah.
He's one of the main contributor, if he's not the main contributor. And James is joining CYSEC, by the way. So you can check it. Obviously, the first version was mainly designed for TCP traffic. It was not really optimized from a congestion control point of view, packet loss. From our side, we did a lot of improvement on the quality of service, so all the aspects that Daniel just mentioned, but also from the security point of view to make it more hardened and also more modular.
But it's on the client side, it's still this hardware module, right?
So it's a Debian package, basically.
Okay, so it can be a software on the client side.
Yes, and it's a symmetrical package. So as WireGuard, you can use it and configure it as a server or as a client with a little bit the same configuration file.
Okay, so the hardware you showed isn't needed. You can also
just do it's basically it's a demo kit for a plug-and-play solution. So you already have a VPS server that is deployed, and so you can test it quite instantaneously. But if you want to start on-prem, it's everything with a Debian package, a Linux package, I would say.
Okay, thank you.
And what about key management? Is it also part of the product, or do you have to do it on your own premises?
Yeah. So we rely on X509 certificates. So usually we leave this part to our clients. We are working on a third-party integration, I would say, for again more ergonomic. But usually it's we adapt to the already existing infrastructure. This type of certificate are already used for maybe other VPNs. So you can use it, configure it with your own requirements, and use it with our Satcom link.
Yeah, maybe I can add some details regarding this. So the very first solution was built with using a TPM, Trusted Platform Module, as a cryptographic backend, and we were using it for the key management. But then we figured out that it was much easier actually for the user. Some users are using software-based, some other hardware-based, some are using HSMs. So basically we decided to go for a modular architecture in a way that we can support a different type of key management systems. Okay, do we have another question?
How do you manage the vulnerabilities that may come with your product? I think this is a question that maybe your customers are already asking, but...
Yeah, so we rely strongly on TLS 1.3. So we are completely following the standard. This is for the transmission phase. And then we're on X509 for the certificates. So these two standards. We're right now, so we already passed some specific regional certifications, I would say, on the hardware, because for this specific application, and we're right now in the process to have more certifications for US mainly on the software side.
Thank you. Do we have a last question? Okay, so thank you very much, Daniel, for the nice presentation. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to come to our booth. We have the whole team there, and we will be happy to provide you with more details.
Thank you for your time. Have a great day and a great exhibition.